Hi everybody, welcome back to Majestic Collectibles. I guess technically it's a flea market find, not a comic find, not a con find, really more of a pick. Well, I don't know what you call it. It's kind of unusual all the way around. Thanks for viewing, guys. Click like, hit subscribe if you would. I usually don't deal with a lot of coins. And my dad was a coin collector for a little over 60 years, so I know a little something about him, but really just enough to, well, either keep me out of trouble or get me into trouble, I guess, depending how you want to look at it. But this was a nice little batch. Nothing extraordinary here. No key dates. It looks pretty much like what it is, where somebody just over the years on occasion threw some coins into a box. In fact, it was this box here is what they were in, and there's supposed to be two more boxes here that hold these white 2x2s, but they were gone, so they just threw them in there, which was fine. So I'm just going to go over them quick. I didn't think I did one of these, but I guess I did one about a year and a half ago. Maybe it was a year ago. I can't remember. So I don't do these a lot. I don't get a lot of coins in. These are called Mercury Dimes. It's Winged Liberty, I think. Whatever. I'm not sure the official name on it. 90% silver, American 10 cent. 90, yeah, pretty much silver value. It's got some, there's some rare dates in there, but I don't have any of them. And the next biggest batch, I got some Roosevelt dimes here, and I don't know, is a couple of dollars worth. Which silver, I didn't look at silver today. It's kind of been hovering in that 20 to 23 range. That's dollar per ounce. So you figure, well, 90% of that is kind of more or less spot value on it. So it does add up, even though there's not a lot of face value there. You know, if you're taking basically 20 times the face value, you know, you're looking at what, $2 a dime-ish, somewhere in there. But again, mainly just collectible for the silver value. I don't think there's a whole lot of rare dates, if any, in the Roosevelt dimes. Something that's a little more interesting is right here. And these are Indian Head Pennies. It's one of my favorite coins. It's the only collection I've ever tried to put together. And that 1856 Flying Eagle bronze piece was tough. I didn't check these for any of the rare dates. 1870s, some 1860s dates are pretty rare, and other ones aren't. Most of these are lower grade. They are dated. Sometimes they get so worn you can't even read the date or the letters on the war bonnet on the Indian head wear off. And then there's not a whole lot of collector value. But what a lot of people do with these, the crafters use them, and they turn them into buttons or use them for some type of decoration, mainly on leather work is what I've seen. Leather jackets, belts, purses, saddlebags, kind of motorcycle oriented stuff is where I've seen a lot of them on the custom leather work. And they're really cool. And you're not really out anything. You can polish them up. They look really pretty. They're durable. So those are neat. These are nickels, but I don't know if all of them. I have to look. So there's some war nickels. There's one. Here's a couple more. Now, war nickels, that's World War II, and they were made for, I don't know, a couple of years, maybe 3 years they were minted. Because of the war rationing and the need for nickel for the war effort, some of these nickels made during the 1940s, the mid-1940s, early in mid-1940s, have a little bit of silver in them. It's not a huge amount, but again, that's probably about the only reason to collect them. These are all very worn. I've got some 30s dates in here. These started right after the buffalo nickels. And other than the silver ones, I don't think they're very collectible. And nobody does anything craft-wise with them because, I don't know, Thomas Jefferson just doesn't look as cool as what I'm going to show you next. And that would be the buffalo head nickels. No three-leggers here, which is one of the more sought-after errors. And these are just like the Indian heads in that most of these are low grade, and the dates, I think most of them actually are dated, which is unusual because the dates on these things wear off very, very quickly. And again, they're used mainly for crafts. I see them a lot of leather work, decorative stuff like that. So there is a little value there. They do sell, you know, a lot of times I just put them in a roll and sell them by the roll because they're just individually not all that, whoops, dropped one, not all that impressive, but they're a great looking coin. They're one of my favorites. If I was going to collect another U.S. coin, it would be the Indian head nickel or buffalo nickel on that, because the higher grades look fantastic. Of course, they're a lot harder to find on that, but they're a nice looking coin in high grade. These here I'm going to pick up. These are wheat leaf pennies. Basically, if you can get, you know, buy them for 2 cents, sell them for 3 or 4 cents. There are some rare dates, 09S, 09S VDB. None of those, they're not in there. I did check that, but otherwise not a lot of collector value. Good starting point for, most of the last 80, 90 years, a good starting point for coin collectors because they're affordable for kids or adults or whoever. Something I kind of like a little bit better. Oh, well, wait, no, I got to go back a little bit. So that's a Silver War nickel. And I was going to see if it had the... No, it doesn't have the silver percent. It says it has die cracks. I have not looked. I haven't put under glass, so I don't know if any of these descriptions are right. Here's a little higher grade one, though. You can see it says full horn, and what they're talking about is the horn on the back of the buffalo. You can see it all. That is unusual. That wears off too, just like the dates. So again, nice looking coin in high grade. They do get kind of that rusty, oxidized look. That's what that one has. And they can be cleaned. Usually that's considered a no-no for the die-hard collectors. But, you know, if it's lower grade and you just want it to look nice, who cares? So that's a real dark, almost rusted one. And I didn't write any of this stuff on here, so I don't know how long these have been around or in these 2x2s. And there's some more 34S. The S dates, mint marks I should say, they're usually a little scarcer than the other mint marks. That was a San Francisco mint. Not always. That says, it looks like an O, but it's a D. And let's see, here's just a few more. Doggone it, you didn't miss anything there. Just a few more Mercury Dimes. Again, nothing other than silver value. These are really neat. You can't probably see that. It's too worn out. It's called a Seated Liberty. And that is a 10-cent piece. You can see that has a lot of wear on it. Beautiful coin in high grade, but boy, you don't see a lot of them in high grade. Most of them I have seen over the last few years don't even have a date. This one before 1808. Well, I guess that's possible, but I don't, well, maybe it was. I'm not a full expert on that, but they're really cool coins. A lot of history there on that. It says a 1900, which that would be a Barber dime there. That was after the guy that sculpted and designed it, his name was Barber. V nickel, I believe, yep. And that was before the Buffaloes. Then they went to the Buffalo Indian head nickel, which I thought was a much better piece. I'm not big fan of those. And here's just some Indian heads. amazing how many of these are labeled rare, and they're, yeah, not very high price. Wholesale, nice, good, $18.92, less than something. Yeah, I don't know who wrote that on there. No idea. And there's a little higher grade, which that's a newer one, 1906. I think they ran until 1909, which both the Indian Head and the Lincoln Head scent were out in that same last year. So let's see, 1863, I assume that's another, yeah, Indian Head. Boy, it was so dirty. I thought that's what it was. Oh, that's a V-nickel. See, sometimes you can tell by the size, but they get that kind of rust on there. They're really hard to read. Here's a shield nickel, which is your antebellum or post-Civil War stuff. And I think that's another shield nickel there. I'm not even going to try and read the date. It's pretty tough. And most of these, I believe, are all Liberty Head nickels or V nickels. They had to stop putting the V on there because it had the same design as the $5 gold piece, and they would gold plate it and pass them off as a real $5 coin when it was just a nickel. You can read about that in any of the coin collecting books. Kind of an interesting oops on the part of our government there. And that's a Barber quarter. I didn't get, that might be, okay, I got two more. I didn't get a lot of quarters, and these are really worn. That one, I don't even think you can see the date. Still silver though you kind of got to weigh those and find out how many grams it is, because as worn as they are, there is some silver loss there. And let me go here on this side. We are getting into some interesting stuff. These are just Lincolns that, I don't know, they put in holders. So, you know, they're old. You know, some of these are over 100 years old. There's 1909. I like that. Free. Couldn't even give that one away if that tells you anything, and how good that was. The thing I like about the coins is this kind of stuff here. That's the 1892 Columbian Exposition. That's kind of like the World's Fair. I believe this was in, oh, there. I was pinched in. I believe that was in Chicago, actually. Ran for a couple of years. It's a special commemorative coin, but it is legal tender. And a lot of people don't realize this, but even though this is an old coin, well over 100 years old, that's still worth 50 cents. Now, obviously, a collector is going to pay a lot more, but it's still legal tender. All U.S. Coins and currency are still 100% legal tender. Here's another commemorative, I believe, or is that? Nah, I'm trying to see now. Oh, that's Balboa, so this must be Mexican. And that does have a little bit of silver in it. I'm not sure what the ratio is. I've got a couple of more really neat. I love this world stuff. Very ornate. And the older stuff does have silver in it. I think it's a little lower rate than the U.S., so I don't think it's 90%. 1 peso piece, but it's just something you don't see on the old foreign coins. That's another one that's really popular. It's a Chinese cash coin, and they made, I don't know how many of these they made. They made a lot of these, but they're just cool looking. They're used for good luck charms. If you're into some of the, I can't remember, I think it was Buddhism. They have the little Buddha there, and then they throw the coins in for good luck and things. 1950, this is from the country of Hungary. And again, that would have just a little bit of silver in it. Good heavens, I'm just throwing these all over today. And let's see, New Brunswick. All right, so Canadian, 1862, so that was, U.S. was in the middle of the Civil War. And here's a penny, a real penny, not our 1 cent pieces that we call pennies. This is a real UK penny when they were still on the penny, pound, farthing thing. And that was also Civil War era for us. Store tokens, really super common unless it's got a, some pool hall name or grocery store name. They're usually not too collectible, and even then it depends what the name is. This is German, 1907. The A is the mint mark on there. They always had the, let me see if I can get it in there. It's got the Imperial Eagle emblem on the back, which was Imperial German symbol for a few years there. 1884, it's Canadian, and that's a penny. That's bigger than ours ever was. Again, based on the UK system. This is something I actually don't see a whole lot. There should be plenty around though, and that is Cuban money, 1920 on this one, 1915 there. And this is something I don't see a whole lot of. Nothing quite as ornate as, say, the Mexican coinage, or the German. Here's another German 1906 Einmark, 1 mark piece. Again, that would contain a little bit of silver in it. 1893, this is Corona from Hungary. Here's a shilling. So if you ever wonder what a shilling looked like in the old movies or whatever, there it was, 1896. That's a shilling on there. And I believe, I got to tap that over, I believe that's Queen Elizabeth? Victoria, sorry. Do not know our British monarch history very well, obviously. And we just got a couple left here. There's another 1897. That's a peso. And let's see, Dominican Republic on that one. Sorry, I had that out of the camera shot. I was trying to read it. That was my bad. Another Barber dime. That's American, so I must have just mixed that in. Oh wait, no, this is that old pile, so sorry about that. I left those worn out dimes down there. So something unusual, some kind of neat stuff. Got some just loose. That's American, it's worth the whole buck, which is what the face value is. And this, I'm trying to see, 100th anniversary, the gift of freedom, just a medallion, Statue of Liberty Centennial. It's not official currency. I don't believe it's silver. I've not tested it. And then we have just a bunch of standard foreign kind of aluminum stuff. You can hear it when you drop it. This is silver, so that's actually sounds like real money. And that's, I don't even know what that is. I can't even read it. It looks like it's another Mexican piece. They have a lot of the, I don't know if it's Mayan or Incan imagery on there. You know, you might see Kukulkan or something else on there, one of their historic deities. And this is, I'm trying to read it, Dos Centavos. It says Liberty. This one's really bent. Looks like it got hit by something. It is old though. I was trying to see the date on that. 1892. Republic of Uruguay? No, Argentina. All right. So Argentinian there. Old Argentinian. And that's kind of it. It's just something I wanted to show you guys. Just something different. I don't do a lot with them, so it might be another year or two before you see anything else. There's a little, it's got a little silver in it, coin-wise, but you just never know what turns up, and that's kind of what makes this whole being a collectible dealer, flipper, buyer person kind of fun and kind of interesting when you get something different at one time. I don't even know what that is. Rocky. Oh, I wonder if that's a gaming token. Got a little dinosaur on it. I've never seen that one before. I get Chuck E. Cheese ones. This is Peter Piper. I have never heard of that. If anybody knows what the Peter Piper, I'm assuming it's one of those little kiddie restaurant games in the Chuck E. Cheese vein, let me know. That's the first one of those I can recall ever seeing. And you know, I'm just going to stop there. Not much else going on. Just a bunch of junk here. I'll move it in front. So various, mainly Canadian and a few Northern European coins on that. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.